First people who created business incubator in Kazakhstan.
And it's usually done through education, mentorship, and lastly, what we call access to the capital. We also have 2 venture funds.
And the median age in Kazakhstan is 29.5.
Yeah, I think it's pretty young generation, plus it has global ambitions.
You can open a bank account in less than 2 minutes.
We have the opportunity to really surprise people.
They don't want to invest in Kazakhstan. Oh, is it where Borat was from?
It was a missed opportunity for me as an investor, actually. I didn't.
Welcome to Let's Go Deep. My name is Molly Abdoli, and today I'm interviewing one of the first VC founders in Kazakhstan, right? Alim Khamitov.
Hi. Pleasure
Hi.
to be here.
Yes, so happy to be interviewing someone from Kazakhstan, from my homeland. Could you please tell us more about your background? And I can't wait to talk about ecosystem in Kazakhstan in general.
Okay. Yeah, again, pleasure to be here. Thanks for inviting me. So I'm the IT programmer, X, but sometimes people say you cannot be X programmer. So I started from there. I'm from Almaty. I'm 38. I have family, 2 kids, and for the most of my life I was in IT sector. I usually say I'm the venture entrepreneur, not just venture investor. In terms of the background, again, I started actually in US at Indiana University, Bloomington, after I stayed for a while to work there. But at some point I decided to come back, and actually I saw so many things different from US to Kazakhstan, specifically about IT sector and startups specifically. So yeah, I came back, and starting from there I launched several businesses. I was in IT outsourcing. I think it's kind of classical story for everyone who is programming. At some point you outstaff your team. I did different startups. I would say it's one of them was in a field of smart transportation, telemedicine, but kind of a red line of whatever I did before. It was in education, in parallel with the business.
Amazing.
I think I'm the teacher too somehow. So yeah, I was teaching for more than 10 years in parallel. It's like a hobby. So yeah, I'm still in Almaty, and yeah, now I do the business with my partners. Yeah, it's called MOS, but I think we're gonna talk about it later.
So you were the first people, you and your partner, right, who created business incubator in Kazakhstan. Am I right?
Yeah. So I came back to Kazakhstan in 2008 after US, and yeah, I was doing my own business, my projects and teaching stuff. And actually in 2011, yes, my partner invited me, my actually friend, he invited me to become the partner. And actually the whole idea was the entrepreneurial culture was kind of raising. It was hard times after, post-Soviet Union, whatever, collapse, and this was a pretty tense time for everyone. So actually, we both were in business, and we wanted to have some kind of a platform, like a club. Today we have so many clubs for entrepreneurs, for investors, but the whole idea was to create a platform where we can meet like-minded people, like other business people, and just talk, just share the experience, insights and stuff. So before even, it was not called MOST as today, it was called Young Entrepreneurs Club. So the Young Entrepreneurs Club was created. We started to do what is today well known as incubation, but frankly speaking, we didn't know that it's called incubation. We heard about it, since I know that top accelerators, incubators from US was created in 2008 and 2009. Actually, just a little bit earlier, before we were thinking of, okay, we need to create a platform and maybe do some education, so just to raise entrepreneurial culture. So yeah, the club was created, and starting from there, we started to consider us and position ourselves as the first business incubator for startups in Kazakhstan, I suppose, in Central Asia too. And yeah, the whole story started from there. Yeah.
And now this is the whole ecosystem. I've been at your Most Hub, which looks great, and the amazing view. So could you please tell us more, like how does it look today, the Most Hub or holding, how do you call it?
Yeah, so when we created the incubator, we started to do the programs. It's called batches. So you usually gather up to 10, 15 businesses per batch. And the really important thing here is not to teach people how to do the business. That's what people think. I mean, in our case, it was not like we would love to teach people. It was like to gather entrepreneurs and to be upgraded together. That's why we usually say we're in education, so we try to, and we still try to find the gaps in, let's say, one entrepreneur would say, I'm thinking of scaling, I don't know how to do this, another one from the tech roadmaps side and other things. So education is from this standpoint, how to actually grow the business, the running business. And it's usually done through education, mentorship, and lastly, what we call access to the capital. And there's three kind of pillars that we try to create. So starting from there, we're still doing this thing, but today, after 13 years, we finally, I would say, kind of somehow completed the ecosystem, the basic stuff, which includes today still acceleration incubation programs. We have the hub that we visited with you and I showed you. It's called Most Hub Almaty. We also have similar in Tashkent, in Uzbekistan. We plan to launch maybe similar in other regions too. But this is kind of infrastructure where we gather people. We also have 2 venture funds where we invest in startups with the founders from here. And and we actually have our own business angels club. So all of these kind of components lead us just to one thing, to find talented founder. And just to help him in his journey as an investor, or maybe as as a supporter, and that's it. And so, I think it's kind of non-financial type of thing. Yeah.
This is amazing because I come here and I see so many great ideas, so many great business, new businesses. And for example, like careers, we don't have careers in London. You have to go out, put your bag inside the Uber, and someone has to also get out of their house and meet the guy. Here you can have door-to-door delivery.
That's why we become so lazy.
In a few minutes. Yeah. And I've noticed that no one goes shopping anymore as well. Everything is online and it's super fast, right? You don't have to wait one day or a couple of days like on Amazon or something.
I mean, in terms of technology advancements or what is called acceptance of different technologies, I think our people are kind of unique somehow. Yes, we are emerging markets. We have so many things to be done ahead, but in terms of that, even with the e-commerce, not just about groceries or kind of things, I know that you can evaluate that the whole market is up to 3 billion now or something.
In Kazakhstan.
Only in Kazakhstan. And I think it's gonna reach, and some research of some of big 4 companies already proved that. I mean, it's a kind of a forecast, but still it will reach up to 8 or 10 billion just in 2 or 3 years.
Wow.
So it's kind of
rapid growth.
Rapid growth, really rapid growth. So it means that people are eager to buy online just everything. And and frankly speaking, I also don't often go to the store to buy the food, so we actually use different services. I usually test it as an investor, as an entrepreneur, just to see how it works.
Of course.
But I mean, in terms of that,
And how many startups are here in Kazakhstan today?
It's a hard question in just to say the exact number, but since we are in this business for many years, I can definitely tell you that one thing what is happening, its quantity is growing, but now we see more quality. But just roughly in the region, I would say there is more than 6,000 at least. Why roughly is just we still don't have what is called Central Asian database of startups like Crunchbase or AngelList for investors and startups also in US or in the world. But luckily, we are not the only one we are maybe the biggest one in Kazakhstan. We also have partners in Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and other countries. We closely communicate, and the partners actually also try to gather this information. So when we kind of jointly collect this, we know that at least 6,000, 7,000 is there. It's really important to highlight here that for the most time, it's still early stage, but it's not ideas. So this 6,000 is what people think, like, okay, how you measure, I mean, is it a business or not?
Yes.
It's usually running businesses.
With clients, with
yes, they have revenue,
product.
they have clients, they have proof business model, but it's still on the seed stage mostly. We have even Series A companies and Series A stage companies and others, but still it's there. And I think I shared, with the research before, and when we made this comparison, what was 5 years, 6 years ago, it was, I don't know, for sure it was almost 1,000, 1,500.
And why do you think we have this rapid growth here in Kazakhstan?
I mean, overall the market is growing. I think it's just organic thing for any market, and specifically, it's good that as Kazakhstan, if we just take this example, I think our neighbor countries also do this. But if we take just Kazakhstan, yes, we're all oil-dependent country, right? But luckily, the president, the government actually also gives the kind of a guidance through different instruments that would love to go out of oil dependence. So, and what we should do actually is just to be in innovation, in technology. And I think Kazakh specifically has a lot of potential. And, more business emerging, more business appearing actually. And I know the numbers. I mean, it's like, I think it's more than 2 million business registered in Kazakhstan. I think maybe some already doing the business without registration. I don't know, but still. Yes. So in general, it's just because of the political change and also the economical change because of, more opportunities coming. And we have a rough kind of young population, I would say more. Almost 500,000 is born every year in Kazakhstan. Yes. I mean, it's the next generation of
I'm always proud to say that in Kazakhstan, we have like 4 kids in the family, like 3 is the minimum. Yes, 3 is the minimum. Yes, some have 6 or 7, which is great. Yeah. And the median age in Kazakhstan is 29.5.
Yeah, it's pretty young.
Yes, very young. Yeah. Yes, and which is great also that almost like everyone speaks English, no? I mean, we study English a lot at school. We have a lot of English-speaking universities and a lot of people who studied abroad as well. Yeah,
I think if you come and just invite everyone who's going to watch this podcast just to come, and I don't think that they're going to have any problems of communication. Yes. Even the taxi drivers know, somehow knows the basic level. I think it's pretty young generation, plus it has global ambitions. We all understand that the country is small, it's only 20 million population. And what I like now that the young generation now have, more global ambitions than before, like 13 years ago, 10 years ago, something. And, but we still are thriving for successful cases from Kazakhstan. But still, if you want to do the global business, yes, you have to know English, just speak in English.
Yeah, so I think on Tuesday I was at the event where VC founders were pitching, like not the usual pitching event where you see startuppers pitching in front of the investors, and everyone was speaking English. The audience of the VC founders were very international. Yes. I
mean, I think Kazakhstan has what is called opportunity window, or window of opportunities now. Because of this macroeconomic and political stuff going on around. But I heard, and I like to always repeat this thing that I'm hearing from international investors specifically, they say Kazakhstan is the last tech frontier. Not just only Kazakhstan, it's Central Asia as the last tech frontier. What it means, it means something big will grow up from here. So if you look at historically for the post-Soviet Union countries, the countries who started and actually understood right away that in order to succeed, in order to be someone on the technology map, on the political map, economic map, it means that you should produce something for the global market. And the countries who actually, I mean, from the Soviet Union time, who understood this right away, they are feeling somehow good. And Ukraine, Estonia, and all these Eastern Europe countries, most of the time, if you look at the list of even IT companies and unicorns list, they already have them. I just recently even heard about Armenia. They got this PixArt. It's a unicorn from Armenia. So all of these companies started to understand that they have to do something on a global market. So I think that's what we should do now. And based on what I see now, actually, let's just take an example of, there's a sport programming, where it's called sport programming, when the coders solve a lot of tasks, really hard task, through coding. It's called ACM ICPC. It's a actually worldwide competition. And I remember even the students when I was at the university teaching, but still Kazakhstan in a top 5 for the last 5-6 years.
In the world.
Top 5 in the world. I even remember like 2 times we were in top 3. And it's about the young generation. I mean, it's already students or just recent students who actually win in these competitions. We also win in a lot of chess competitions, right? I see that it's a lot of things happening in robotics. Let's say our school children, they go and just win it. So what it means that we still have this engineering mindset and knowledge and stuff. And still in schools.
I'm very proud that my son won a chess tournament in Westminster. Like, I'm so proud of that.
Yeah,
I think we have
it's
it in
somehow
our
in
blood.
the genes.
Yes.
But the whole idea just to know how to sell it, how to package your stuff and knowledge, and just to sell it.
And which sector is the most developed in the startup world in Kazakhstan?
For sure, I think it's Fintech. Somehow, financial sector is pretty strong. We know all the cases that is kind of a standard with the Kaspi Bank, which actually a good story and a good selling story for us, which shows that we can really, if you look at who created Kaspi, I mean, as a technology thing, it's all Kazakh, mostly Kazakh. I cannot say the percentages. I'm not in the Kaspi, but we know people from there, and for the most time, it's a local team. So what it means, we can do competitive things. Of course, the management did, investors did the good job. We also have Freedom Holding, which started from the brokerage firm, but now it's a digital bank, it's a digital insurance and other things. And they have only one branch of the bank, so everything is doing online. And other banks are actually catching up. And finally, what I like and what I love as a venture investor, financial corporations, not so many, but they started to acquire startups. So they merge, they marry, and they started to somehow understand that not everything should be done in-house. And I think it's a huge trend. I know for the US specifically, I always tell this fact to our corporates, not just in the financial sector, that if you are not working with the startups, in 2-3 years, you will not be competitive. No more. That's why I know that in US, mostly corporations know that they have to find some way how to work with the corporates or how to work with the startups. It can be, the hub, it can be Accelerator, it can be the fund, other things. You don't need to hire this army of coders to create something. That is happening actually, and it's a good trend. And again, maybe we can share with your audience the links to the research that we also created. You can actually find the list of companies which were acquired, not just by Kazakh corporates, let's say, but when our companies actually made the international exit, and it's really happening. And I remember it was a case with one guy from Fintech. I can maybe tell this, I don't know, okay? But still, it was a guy who created actually the bank here. At some point, the bank was acquired. He left to US. Before he was traveling, but finally he's based now in US. He created another bank, digital bank, for teenagers.
Oh, interesting.
It was kind of a good financial literacy kind of app. And it was acquired in 1.5 years by one of another real bank in US. So for me, it was a missed opportunity for me as an investor. Actually, I didn't invest, but still, it showed me like, okay, these guys can do here, you can do there, and it's all good. So fintech, I would say we are not out of AI kind of competition, and it's really important to understand that it's not about like ChatGPT on the back. It's not about, we have so many startups who's using ChatGPT and other kind of these AI instruments, but the guys that actually creating the real deep tech things. One of the cases I just want to share from our portfolio, it's called GoChat. I really recommend our audience maybe to look at it. It basically allows you to create your digital twin.
Interesting.
And it really speaks like you, I mean, in the text, but still, they have more than 4 million users now all over the world. And so, I mean, and this is not they actually married more than 10 plus AI models. And so their technology is about that.
Yeah, we should definitely leave the link below.
Yeah, let's put the link. And so what it means is just separate cases that show that we are also in this competition. Of course, we have HR tech. We have what I truly believe, and it's not still visible to the world, about oil tech, mining tech, and other solutions that we have today in Kazakhstan. We already invested in some of them. And I think you're going to hear about them later. It's a mix of usually data science, machine learning, and AI there. But still, the guys actually doing pretty good job of digitizing oil and mining field here. And now we are trying to actually bring them to the global markets. But in general, we are sector agnostic, so I think this the main one somehow. E-commerce for sure. I mean, I usually, when I say fintech, we mean three things, like it's banks, insurance tech, and e-commerce. So it's under fintech umbrella.
So with fintech, it's like how many percent people are cashless?
Now it's what I know for the last year, it was 87%. So it's like we discussed before the interview. I don't remember the last time when I was cash.
At the same, I came here. I think I'm here for like 10 days, and I haven't seen any cash.
Yeah, people use Apple Pay, Google Pay, and other things.
Kaspi QR code or whatever. And I read from the research as well, which I'm sure we can share. That you can open a bank account in less than 2 minutes. You can get a loan in less than like 2-3 minutes as well, which is great.
Yeah, in terms of, I don't know, we can align it to e-government services, but still, even from this side and come back to the business, basically, I'm not sure about the number, but I don't remember the last time when I was getting some, the papers for my job or for whatever, for the hospital. It's all online. And, you know, we have this, what is called citizenship kind of service centers. They were everywhere, but now people don't go there. This is one thing. About the cashless, yes, we mentioned. But for the rest, I mean, everything is kind of digitized. And again, as I said before, people are acquiring them somehow easily.
Yes. Yeah, that's great. So the main question I had today was, have you ever like heard something like, oh, Kazakhstan, we don't know about your country? Like, I'm sure you work with international investors or founders as well. Or, for example, when I say in the US, mostly, when I say that I'm from Kazakhstan, there's, oh, is it where Borat was from? Like, do you have this attitude still, or is it different these days?
When I was a student, actually, that was when Borat was published somehow. And I got some jokes, but it was like not serious. But anyway, I'm the guy who's actually thinking that even what's called black PR, it's also a PR. At least people started to know that there is a country. Since, yes, there is a perception that we're all STAN countries are the same. I even got some friends from Afghanistan. So people thought, okay, when I said Kazakhstan, they don't hear the first part.
They
hear the
they say, oh, what's the capital, Baku? I'm like, oh my God.
So it's a problem with that. But this is the case that I think let's make this, whatever the negative side, into the positive when we have the opportunity to really surprise people. that we can do something. And the main, I think, resource that we have, I think it's talents. It's really, we have a talent people. That's what I hear from international guests. Like yesterday in the office, I got a US delegation. And again, when we meet them with our founders, they're really surprised. So I think there's an opportunity for us. But the perception, I wouldn't say it's a perception of like Borat type of perception. I think for the most time, it's a perception that they have no idea. They heard about it somehow. And it's like, what's called, it's nothing. I mean, it's like, okay, there is a country, but what is there, who is there? Nothing. Luckily, we have our creative guys like Dimash Kudaibergen as a singer,
Gennady
Golovkin as a Triple G, as a boxer. But I think the next hero, the next well-known guy should be from IT, or several of them. I think it's not a deal of kind of growing up one unicorn from Kazakhstan. There's no deal with that. Just one country is nothing. Not one company is nothing. But if I have a series of them, and actually it's not a story of actually building something really big. What I usually say, we can really grow up the elephant and be the elephant here in the region, which is also good for the country, for people, for the well-being of people here. But also you can be bring this elephant from here to other markets. I hope it will be from IT sector. Or sometimes I usually say, let's call it tech-driven sector. It can be even traditional sector, but somehow digitized, and we can create the model that is possible. Like even in a fintech with Kaspi, this is the case. But it's not easy to take this model and just bring to other places. But still, I think through these different cases, we can somehow now we have a chance to create the brand. It is a brand of the country, but I think somehow it's connected to oil and gas and other things. Yeah, beautiful
but also
places, but
corruption.
Yeah, let's be honest, corruption and other things. But since, as we discussed before, everything is digitizing, I think it's pretty secure to be here. It's so many places to go, right? I think even the government, as a business, I can say this, that the government should do more in terms of, make awareness about our country. But I hope that the niche that will be well known, it will be the IT. And I think it's the right thing to be in a long-term way of being well-known.
I also want to share with the investors that I'm from Kazakhstan, and at some point I was helping some companies with, like in oil sector and gold mining sector, and they said that they don't want to invest in Kazakhstan just because they don't believe in the politics, that we have only one ruler. Like we shouldn't go like too deep in that. But what do you think about like governments, like?
No, I think as of now, I mean, not as of now, for the 30 years of our independence, we were the country with one of the stable situation. No wars, nothing, and hope it won't be anything like this. And I don't think that we have any signals that will be like this. Of course, we are next to other two big countries, like Russia and China. And I would be honest, like some people even said about the previous one, that like perception, what is Kazakhstan and other things, people are thinking of us like a proxy kind of, place between these two big brothers. But this is just a perception which is wrong. And it's not because I'm from here and I'm trying to, sell it to the audience, but no, actually we are one of the liberal type of, the country, and our president is doing a great job in terms of, balancing between these movements. But on the other hand, I think Kazakhstan has a lot of advantages. It's not only connected to IT and fintech and other things in terms of the country to be here and to do the business. I don't really believe in these kind of ratings that we have, but still in terms of doing the business rating, it's a worldwide rating. Which country to choose to do the business. Actually, we are progressing a lot. And it's connected to the thing that we are fully kind of digitized. Like you said, it's easy to create a company. In terms of other jurisdictions and countries, it's still cheap. And by the way, we have Astana International Financial Center. And I think it's one of the greatest things that our government created. So it's, in short, it's AIFC. So it's similar to DIFC in Dubai, similar to Singapore, in London jurisdiction. Since English law is there, there's an independent court, there's a expat center which helps to get more international, I don't know, specialists and co-founders and others. So there is a whole infrastructure, and all of our companies on the most holding, they are registered in AIFC.
Is it like offshore zone inside Kazakhstan?
Simply, in a simple words, it's offshore inside of the country. And I think it's one of the greater things, not just for Kazakhstan, for the region. And I know that there is more than 40 plus funds. I think more than, I can be wrong, but it's more than 1,000 companies already there, registered, maybe more. And there is a sandbox. You can actually test a lot of things over there, specifically in Fintech. And the regulator won't say anything about that. I mean, a lot of things happening there, but still it's a question of awareness about this opportunity. I think I'm personally one of the ambassadors of AIFC. So since wherever I go, I usually tell people that they ask me why I chose AIFC. I said, okay, I'm the patriot of my country, but it's not the only reason. It actually allows me to do everything that you do in Delaware, in Singapore, and other things. And as a venture investor, actually, we co-invest easily with, we co-invested with Quest Ventures, with 5RM Global, with recently with one of the managed partners from US, Anderson Horowitz. So, I mean, the rules are the same. So, yeah. And
so
by the way, everything is doing online. When I registered with my team, the fund, I get the license, and we register the companies almost every day. I mean, where we support others and we create. I never go to Astana. Just everything is doing online. So
and how safe is the money of the investor if he wants to invest in the Kazakhstan startup?
I think it's pretty safe since, you know, when I raise the money, I talk to investors. And again, we have two funds. And it's not the money of Kazakh people only. That's what people think. Okay, in our first fund, I cannot say the names, but we got a LP, our investor, limited partner. They are from US. So actually, and they gave us pretty good check with a truly belief in the region. In our second fund, we also have investors from Turkey. We also have investors from Europe, by the way. And again, the money comes here. Just pretty soon, I think we're going to launch officially, I mean, publicly, it's already working. We are launching the Venture Debt program. And again, we have international investors there. And I hope that the trend will grow in terms of the amount, the opportunity that we actually show them. I mean, our banks, like, I don't know, some of our banks like Freedom, again, I don't want to make it kind of advertise for them, but still it's a part of the holding which is listed in NASDAQ, okay? Kaspi, the same case. It's a company which is listed in London. The London Stock Exchange is also listed in NASDAQ. It's banks, okay? So what it means, for the most time in our business, we do this with the international currency transactions, and it works fine. So, I mean, and sometimes we even don't need the money to be here, right, in order to invest here. So it's all negotiable.
And everything, all the transactions are backed by the UK law, right? It's
a called English law. It's not only, it's a precedent kind of thing, you know. Yeah, I mean, if something happens here, so just to make sure that investors understand this, if it will be sued or something, it won't be by local court. It will be by court created in AIFC. It's similar to other jurisdictions too. And I think it's one of the greatest things happening, I mean, to understand that you are not dependent of whom you know here, if you're local or not. You're pretty secured, and whatever even happens, you just go, and actually it will be the same relationship with US it was happening in US, or since I know that in the court it's only international international guys over there. It's not local ones.
That's great. So thank you so much for being on this podcast where we were talking about Kazakhstan ecosystem and the ecosystem of startup in Kazakhstan. Yes. And in the next video, we'll be talking more about the founders, about investors, about why you should be investing in startups, as this channel is about well-being, and financial well-being is very important part of it. Yes.
Good.
So yes, if you have any questions for Alim, please leave your questions underneath. And of course, I will leave all the links to connect with him under the video. Thank you.